What's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Connor with TGN here, and today we're going to be doing a review of a car. Yes, that is a car, I said. We're going to go ahead and review the Scion TC 2012 release series model, which comes from Scion, which is Toyota's sub-brand, which is very youth-based, and it is going to be aiming towards that entry-level driver coming out of high school, or maybe a high school student, or even going into college or after college, who's looking for a decently priced, sporty car that's very practical. Now, this car competes with the Honda Civic, Kia Forte, Mazda 3 hatchback, and the Mini Cooper. This car is going to be the most expensive car on Scion's lineup. All of that being said, though, it doesn't really mean that it's very expensive at all. To enter into this car, it's $19,305 for the manual and $20,305 for the automatic. Now, that is with the no-hassle pricing, which basically means whatever price you see on the sticker is what you get. That's for all of their upgrades on this car as well. What you see is what you get. There's no labor cost. It's all included. So what you see on the price tag is what you get. You cannot negotiate the car price. What they have on the sticker, they have to sell it for. Even if you want to negotiate the price, they cannot sell it for cheaper than what it is. Now, as expected, this car is fun to drive and very practical because it is a hatchback. Also, even though it looks like a two-seater because it is a two-door car, it is actually a five-seater with a very spacious back area where you can easily fit 3 people that are about 6 feet tall. Now, this car is pretty small, so it makes it a lot easier to zip around corners and weave through traffic. This car's power comes from its 4-cylinder engine. Now, the horsepower from this car is about 180 horsepower, which isn't necessarily a sports car level, but once you compare it to the price, it definitely does fit the price range. Now, as I mentioned before, this car is a manual and an automatic. I personally picked up the automatic version because it's a little bit easier through traffic and things like that. But when you do pick up an automatic, there also is speed shifting, which is kind of like driving a manual without a clutch. It's an automatic clutch, so you can still drive it kind of like a manual anyways, which still makes it a lot of fun to drive if you're not sitting in traffic having to push in a clutch the entire time. Now, there was a lot of complaint early on about the thick steering wheel, but personally I don't see that as a problem. I definitely like the thicker steering wheel. It feels better in the hands and definitely makes the car feel a little bit more manly and tough. One of the cooler things for anybody that's in high school or college that likes to listen to the music pretty loud and show off a little bit, the car comes standard with a 300-watt 8-speaker audio system and has massive bass stock with the car. Now, that being said, you can also go ahead and go into settings in your speaker configuration and pump up the bass a lot more than just with the automatic bass settings. It also comes with a standard auxiliary port and USB port, so you can use your iPhone's music as well. Now, something you don't see very often for a $20,000 car is a panoramic sunroof, but this car does have one and it looks really nice in the car. You can open it up and have a lot of light in the car, which definitely helps out with the overall feeling of the inside of the car. Scion says they want you to treat the car like a blank canvas. Now, what they mean by that is they want you to go ahead and jump into your car for $20,000 and be like, hey, I want this, 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 and this done. So if you want car mats, you can go ahead and get that. If you want fog lights, you go ahead and upgrade that. If you want exhaust upgrades, if you want cold air intake, if you want to tweak the performance, if you want to get a spoiler, if you want to get an auto dimming mirror, whatever you want to do, you can modify the car how you want. If you want the car to look completely different than any other Scion out there, you can go ahead and jump into the Release Series, which is the model you're looking at now. Now, the Release Series offers you a TRD body kit, a honeycomb grille, and black rims for your car. In addition to that, you also get push start, so you walk in the car with your keys on you and you just push the car to start it, which definitely gives it a more racy and sporty feel. Now, for the gas mileage, it gets 23 city miles per gallon and 31 highway miles per gallon. Now, that's pretty good gas mileage, but for its size, it definitely isn't anything incredible or amazing. When you pop the hood on the Scion TC, you don't really see anything incredibly amazing, nothing worth showing off to your friends, but when you're driving down the street, you definitely do get some head turns. Now, unfortunately, the car does not come with any tinted windows, which is kind of a huge downer for me, as I do like tinted windows in the car. It does make the car look a lot better with tinted windows. Coming from me personally, I would recommend that if you have an extra $200 or $300, definitely get your windows tinted. I drove down to our local ABT to get my windows tinted, and it cost about $250 to get all of the windows tinted, not including the front window, obviously, the windshield, or the sunroof. Now, the upgrades I got in this car was a cold air intake, TRD race spoiler, illuminated door seals, TRD exhaust, automatic dimming mirror, fog lights, and the car mats. When I get a little extra money, the next thing I want to do is also get the interior lighting and the Scion body art for the side of the car. So that's pretty much it, guys. The car is really great if you're looking at new cars or you're in high school or college. It's definitely a car I would recommend. It's definitely very zippy for only having a 180 horsepower engine. Although if you do upgrade to a cold air intake, you do get about 20 more horsepower, and if you get a different exhaust with the TRD exhaust or you get an aftermarket exhaust, you get about 5 or 6 more horsepower out of that too, which will get you around 205 or so horsepower, which is definitely pretty zippy for this kind of car. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like and a favorite, and I'll try to do more car reviews. The car you're seeing on screen now is a Solstice, a Pontiac Solstice, and if you guys have ever seen Pontiac Solstice, there are none in the world that look like this. This is modified by Chuck Mallett, who works with a lot of different Corvettes, but he actually worked on a few Solstices as well. Some of the cooler mods he did was he was able to take a Corvette engine and put it into a Pontiac Solstice. Now, as you can imagine, this gave it a ridiculous amount of horsepower, actually being able to smoke most very expensive Porsches as well as Corvettes that were out there, because now you have a Corvette engine and a Pontiac Solstice, which weighs almost nothing. And this Pontiac Solstice has tons of mods to it, which I would like to review for you guys, but if you don't want to see it, tell me in the comments below. I think cars are pretty cool, so I want to definitely incorporate cars into this channel. If you do want to see it, definitely tell me in the comments. It does have a lot of different mods, you can see. It has a Viper alarm system. It has different underglow and things like that that make the car look sick. It also has a lot of horsepower for being such a little car, with over 450 horsepower just in that tiny car alone. You can definitely get around pretty quick and definitely beat a lot of nice cars out there for the price that it costs. So like I said, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of this review, and until next time, guys, peace.